Subscribe for more.
I never thought a joke could end a marriage, but that night it did. I'm Daniel, 42, married for 14 years to Rebecca. I wasn't the loud guy at parties. I was the dependable one. Mortgage paid, steady engineering job, weekends reserved for family barbecues, and fixing whatever broke around the house. Rebecca used to say she liked that about me, said I made her feel safe. The party was for her co-worker's promotion. Loud music, too much wine. Everyone packed into a suburban living room pretending they were still young. Rebecca had been drinking more than usual, laughing louder, touching my arm like a prop instead of a partner. I didn't think much of it. People act different around friends. Someone asked how long we'd been married. 14 years, Rebecca said, rolling her eyes dramatically. Then she laughed and added, honestly, if I wanted, I could walk away tomorrow. The room chuckled. Someone raised a glass. I smiled automatically, but something in my chest tightened. She kept going. I mean, no offense, she said, patting my shoulder, but I'd be fine. It was framed as humor, but jokes always carry truth. I waited for her to look at me, to soften it, to say something like, I'm kidding, he's my rock. She didn't. She turned back to her friends, already on to the next story. I stood there holding a plastic cup, feeling like furniture. On the drive home, I asked her about it. I kept my voice calm. What you said earlier about walking away, did you mean that? She sighed like I was exhausting. Relax, Daniel. It was just a joke. You're too sensitive. That word again. Sensitive. As if noticing disrespect was a flaw. That night wasn't an explosion. It was a confirmation. For years, affection had thinned. Conversations became logistics. Touches became accidental. I told myself this was marriage maturing, that passion fading was normal. I compensated the way men do. More effort, better vacations, nicer gifts. I thought stability would earn closeness. After the party, something shifted in me. I started paying attention. How often she interrupted me. How her phone mattered more than my sentences. How jokes at my expense came easily, but compliments didn't come at all. I noticed how she spoke warmly about strangers and coldly to me. I noticed how silence followed when I entered a room. I remembered moments I had dismissed. Birthdays where she forgot until reminded. Anniversaries marked with rushed dinners. Evenings where I talked about my day and realized she hadn't heard a word. I saw the pattern clearly for the first time. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was background noise. A week later, we attended another gathering. Different house, same crowd. Someone teased Rebecca about being stuck with me. She laughed again and said, please, I stay because it's convenient. Laughter followed. I didn't laugh this time. I felt oddly calm, like the decision had already been made somewhere deep. When we got home, I didn't argue. I didn't accuse. I simply said, do you respect me? She looked confused, then annoyed. Why are you making everything so serious? She asked. That was my answer. The next morning, I woke early, made coffee, and sat at the kitchen table. 14 years replayed quietly in my head. I wasn't angry. I was tired. Tired of earning love that used to be freely given. Tired of being the punchline. Tired of pretending jokes didn't wound. Tired of explaining basic decency. I thought about how often men are told to lighten up, to take it on the chin, to laugh along. I thought about how silence can be louder than shouting. I realized I had been loyal to someone who had already checked out, and my loyalty was being mistaken for weakness. I wondered how many times I had ignored my own instincts just to keep things comfortable for everyone else. When Rebecca came downstairs, I told her I was going to stay with my brother for a while. She laughed, actually laughed, and said, you're being dramatic. I picked up my bag and walked to the door. That's when she stopped laughing. Wait, she said. You're serious? I nodded. She asked where this was coming from, why I couldn't take a joke, why I was overreacting. I didn't debate. I didn't justify. I just said, I don't feel valued here. I opened the door, not as a threat, not as a leverage, but because staying had started to feel like self-betrayal. Behind me, she stood frozen, finally quiet. For the first time in years, I didn't try to fix her discomfort. I didn't leave because of one joke. I left because that joke revealed everything beneath it. Love doesn't make you feel small in public and foolish for noticing. Respect doesn't require an audience. Walking away wasn't sudden. It was overdue. Outside, the air felt colder, sharper. I took a breath that felt like the first one in years. My phone buzzed with messages later, confusion turning into anger, anger turning into bargaining. I didn't respond. I needed space to hear myself again, to remember who I was before I started apologizing for existing. Behind me, the door stayed open, but I didn't look back. Some laughter, once heard clearly, can never be unheard.